what helped him. He was one of those first cars to get the pit road and get advantage of those 4 fresh tires.
Here comes Hamlin in front of Matt.
Mike, the arts and crafts project for Hamlin and his team worked. The splitter was pushed back about 3 inches. The car, though, tight this past run. Mike Ford wanted to go up 2 rounds on the track bar for Hamlin to try to free the car up. A lot of people talking about how this racetrack has changed yet again. More grip.
So everyone is excited for Jimmy Johnson, and he hits hard.
Yep, finally. Hey, I mean, he has just been hanging on.
A lot of damage to that car.
It has been a rough 2 weeks for Jimmy Johnson at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It has been a rough season. The first 6 races this year, 3 wins. In the last 6 races, no wins, 2 DNFs, and an average finish of 19th.
It's just been it's incredible how many times this car has been wrecked this year.
And that was just totally on his own.
Oh, that's a hard hit, man. Saw it wiggle just a little bit, Larry, like it started to push. When it pushed, then the car caught and the back end came around and he smacked the heck out of that fence. See right there, and he just can't. The car is so loose and so free, he can't hang on to it. Of course, you know, Larry, there's the other thing. The leader right behind him, probably pushing it as hard as he could, trying not to go a lap down.
That is a very hard hit, and if they are unable to repair that car, it would be the 4th did not finish of this young season for Jimmy Johnson,
which is highly unusual of that 48 team.
Yeah, and I don't think they can fix that with the kind of damage it had.
In the last 2 seasons, both championship winning years for Johnson, he had only 1 DNF each of those years.
Just remember, he only has to be in the top 12 at the 26th race.
Good point.
Back live at the Coca-Cola 600, a race break. Jimmy Johnson, the 4-time champ. You know, they call this place his home at one point. Looks like he's going home. A quick recap: 12 leaders, 19 lead changes. It was all about the Busch brothers over the first 300-400 miles of this race. Kurt leading, then Kyle Busch, who led 36 laps total. Some trouble in the pits and a lot of adventure there as Kyle runs into Brad Keselowski, and Jimmy Johnson, the spring rubber taken out, as you can see on this pit stop. Car gets a little bit too loose, and Johnson goes into the wall. That was just the beginning of his night, trying to avoid going a lap down, and then moments ago, as you see Jimmy spin out and hit the wall hard, taken into the care center. We hope that Jimmy Johnson is okay. Let's check in with Jeff Hammond, checking on Denny Hamlin. Jeff?
Yeah, right now what this team is trying to do, they've got damage in this area. It's been all back inside here. And if you look right inside the fender, you'll see all the bracing in this area has all been bent back and down. So they're trying to get a porta power so they can jack all these support braces back up and make it to where they can keep that front splitter off the ground and get the aerodynamics back where the left front can get planted. And guys, you know how important that is, keeping that left front down on the racetrack.
Thanks, Jeff. Hamlin is 24th. Kyle Busch has had trouble. He is 22nd. We're ready to go green with Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer, David Rudiman, Paul Menard, and Jamie McMurray up front.
And nobody's out of this race yet. This race is still wide open. Some of these guys with trouble, they get their cars repaired, they'll be right back in it.
Kurt Busch in that too picks right back up where he left off before that caution. Now we only had a couple of 3 laps on our tires when that caution came. Had a few takers, most notably Kevin Harvick in that 29 car back in the middle of that pack.
But Larry, the 2 car, I haven't heard him complain much about his car all night long, and it's just been consistently fast, fast, fast.
About an 8-car, 10-car breakaway out front. Kyle Busch right up through the middle, picking him off where he catches him. There he goes in that blue and orange machine. He went right up through the middle, 3 wide on the restart. Now he drops to the inside on Casey Kane.
I'll tell you what, when on a restart, when everybody's bunched up like this, everybody's being careful except him. And he is pouncing, baby.
But Darrell, you talked about nobody's out of this race. I think Kyle Busch is a prime example. If you go back to yesterday's Nationwide Series race, the man was almost 2 laps down, just past halfway, came back to win the race.
If these guys get enough cautions here, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more, they'll be right back in it.
Here comes the Harvick Express. The number 29 trying to work his way back up to the front after making a pit stop on this caution, Matt.
Mike, he lost 13 spots on pit road because they had to take the time to do some work on that front of the machine. He bent a splitter brace, ran over some debris about 20 laps ago, and the car went extremely tight, so they had to fix that.
Thanks, Matt. Jimmy Johnson's been released from the care center. It is not known if they'll be able to repair his car and get it back out there.
You know what I like about that 29, Larry? He's driving like a man that has the big picture in mind, like he's trying to win a championship. He's not. I asked him in a pre-race, you know, do you want to win a race? You want to win a championship? I'm working on a championship.
He's working on Dale Earnhardt Jr. All the Hendrick cars with very patriotic Memorial Day paint schemes, and now they're going to take it 3 wide. Junior above Logano, and then the 9 of Casey Kane, and whoa, here comes Kyle Busch, and he wasn't going to wait for Casey Kane to get straightened out.
Corner. You're clear.
He is on the move. But you know, back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 car. Remember, he was on pit road on an unscheduled stop at lap 237, running hot. Now he's in the 12th, 13th spot right in there.
Let's go down by the care center where Dick Berggren is with Jimmy Johnson.
Well, Jimmy Johnson rarely ever crashes, but crashed out of Talladega, crashed out of Darlington, spun last week, and now this. What is going on?
Oh, we're just racing, you know. It's come to the territory. You race long enough, you're going to have bad stretches, and you know, we've been performing well and running well. We've had some bad luck and made some mistakes. Got on the wall in traffic off of turn 4, did some damage. And it really hurt our car. We were trying to get the balance right after that, and just got loose off it too. So I guess I'll take the blame for that one, and I'll be back next week.
We're glad you're okay. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Well, I think it's like Darrell said, you know, we're halfway through the first 26 races getting to the chase. Big picture for them, be in the top 12 when we get there.
They'll rebound.
Yeah, right now they're trying to win races, which is what you're supposed to do. But if they had to, they could back it down and finish some races and get plenty of points to get into the top 12.
Kurt Busch has a 0.7 of a second lead on Matt Kenseth. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr. takes the high road, trying to clear Joey Logano in the 20.
There you go, man. Enter door, enter bumper, clear.
Been watching Junior's car. It's actually pretty good, Larry. I've watched him. He made some good passes up around the high side there like he's running right now.
But I like what he did right there. He did not overdrive the entrance of that corner. It looked like Logano in the 20, maybe even Allmendinger in that 43 car right there did. Junior gets the run off the corner. Looks like we're going to see the same thing down here in turn 1 and 2. And Kyle Busch in the 18 is going to follow him through the high side.
Drag race down the back straightaway. Allmendinger, the 43, looking in.
The thing that always amazes me about Kyle Busch, Larry, he can take an old car that's been beat up, knocked around, and still perform like there's nothing wrong with it.
We've seen him win a number of races that way.
Second place, Kenseth's Ford. Holding off for the moment, Jamie McMurray's number 1 Chevy.
What a great run by that one car. Goodness gracious. He has worked his way right up here and trying to get into second place. Got a great race car.
Well, if you're a car owner, Darrell, had just won the greatest spectacle in racing and flew all the way here to Charlotte to watch you race, how would you perform?
I'd give it all I got, baby. I can tell you that.
And that's what Jamie
I'd want to make him proud, I can tell you.
So I would assume that Bruton Smith's offer of $20 million to who can win the daily double here on Memorial Day does not count for owners.
Probably not.
Ought to be something in there, shouldn't there?
You would think.
Yes, there should. In case you hadn't heard, Bruton Smith offered $20 million to a driver who could win both Indy and Charlotte in the same day. We'll see someday if that's possible.
The Coca-Cola 600 on Fox is sponsored by Coca-Cola, who reminds you that nothing goes better with your backyard barbecue than a cooler full of ice-cold Coca-Cola.